Hello, everyone. Welcome to day two of the Reto Navideño. Okay, so welcome back. Today we're going to look at part two and part four, and let's get straight in. Use of English tests how well you understand grammar, vocabulary, and meaning in context. The use of English paper tests how accurately you use your grammar, vocabulary in context. Today's one with part four, we're going to use the grammar, identify grammar. Okay, it's quite important with that. It's not about translating word by word. It's not about memorizing long rules or grammar rules or guessing. Okay, you need to understand the structure, especially in part four. Tengo dos tips que funcionan bastante bien para tener tu foco ahí. And choosing the most natural option, accuracy and control. By accuracy, in part four, if it says Jose, you have to put Jose, not he, not she, no. Si pone el nombre, tú pones el nombre. Si pone el pronombre, I, you, he, she, pones el pronombre. Okay, let's have a look. So, what is part four? You get two sentences. Vamos a ver las dos frases. Steve didn't manage to complete his work. Steve, his work. Two sentences, okay? The second sentence must keep the same meaning, okay? Tiene que significar lo mismo. Tiene que significar lo mismo. And you must use the keyword given. En este caso, failed. Okay, you have to use that word and you cannot modify the word. You cannot modify the word. You cannot what? Modify that word. No, failed, failed. Okay, now in B2, you can use between 2 and 5 words, where in C1, it's 3 to 6 words. Okay, this part tests grammar transformation, a bit of grammar, paraphrasing, and structures and fixed expressions. So in C1, there's a lot of idioms, a lot of phrasal verbs, a lot of fixed expressions. So hay que saberlo, ¿eh? Hay que practicar y practicar esta parte y dominar pues idioms, phrasal verbs. In B2, there's also some phrasal verbs, not many idioms, but it's quite difficult. And yeah, the problem is changing the meaning, using too many words and not using the keyword. Okay, so aquí la gente se agobia mucho. Hay 12 puntos, hay doble puntuación en part 4, okay? So there's 6 of them and you have 12 points. Y yo lo que digo es que es la peor parte del examen of use of English, part 4. So you don't have to get 12 points. La gente veo que se agobia si no lo tiene todo bien, ya es que no puedo con esa parte, me bloqueo, no puedo. You only need to get 6. Con tener un 50% en esta parte vas bien al examen, apruebas las otras partes, apruebas use of English part 1, part 2. Si puedes más que 6, no pasa nada para presentarte a examen, ¿eh? Um, y practica, okay? Don't get too much stress about it, okay? Right, let me show you my tips for part 4. First tip here. I'll put the tips here. First tip. Number 1, cross out the same words. Same for B2 and C1, cross out the same words. Tachar, okay? The same words. Hay que tacharlo. So as you can see, let's do that here. Steve, okay, Steve. His work. Eso te da foco en qué hay que modificar. Okay, so nuestro foco es didn't manage to complete y tenemos que usar failed. Okay, so number 2, what I would suggest is to identify the grammar. Very important. Identify the grammar. If you can identify the grammar, it doesn't always work, but if you can, it really helps with your structure. Okay. In this one, Steve didn't manage to complete his work. Negative. So manage could change to failed. Okay. What we could have is didn't manage would be failed. Didn't manage. And then we'd have to put to complete. So the correct answer is Steve failed to complete his work. Okay. I understand there's not so much grammar identification in this one, but these are the main points. Si te vas a quedar con algo, esto es súper importante. Okay, cross out the same words and identify the grammar. In some of the structures, there are grammar. In some of them, if they're fixed expressions, idioms, phrasal verbs, a bit more difficult. Normally, if the preposition is the keyword, it identifies as a phrasal verb. Don't worry, os voy a dejar también en el correo una página para practicar esta parte y también os voy a dejar más recursos en el correo. So, moving on. I've done some more here for us to practice. We've got here, if you do the washing up, I'll make the coffee. Now, I can identify the grammar here. Conditional. Conditional. Conditional 100%. If you do the washing up, I'll make the coffee. So now, what is the same? I'll make the coffee. Aquí importante tachar. You'll see, you'll understand here. This is a better one. The washing up. También está. Vale, aquí tenéis guía de cómo se hace. And here, if you do, nuestro foco. Nuestro foco es muy importante en esta parte, coger el foco, porque eso es, tenemos que poner if you do aquí usando providing. So, I'll make the coffee providing, it's easy, easy. Providing you do the washing up. Okay, this is a B2 one, so some of the C1 students, you might not find that as difficult, but this is a clear example for you guys. I hope you can understand, identify the grammar and cross out the same words. So, next one, Sally gets on well with her father-in-law. Oh dear. Oh dear. Hemos entrado en modo C1. Sally, her father-in-law, gets on well. Oh God. So this is an idiom. You have to know English for this one. Gets on well with and terms. Now, I know terms no tiene que ver con gets on well with. Gets on well with es llevarse bien. And there is a sentence, an idiom, or a fixed phrase that we use in English to say get on well with is on good terms with her father-in-law. Es más complejo, hay que saber mucho más inglés para esta parte, and it's very important for you to study idioms. Okay, idioms, phrasal verb, and extend your vocabulary. Because you see, this is why we can do the B2 and C1, because this exercise is the same. Part 4 is the same in B2 exam and same in the C1 exam. But obviously, C1 is extending the vocabulary and knowing more about it. The grammar, the present perfect, the conditionals, you know the grammar from B2 if you're doing the C1. But the problem is the vocabulary. You have to extend the vocabulary. Okay? So, that's that. I hope you understand it. Si tenéis alguna duda, no dudes en ponerte en contacto conmigo. DM on Instagram or comment on the YouTube, whatever you want. So now we're going on to part 2 to finish covering part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. So part 2 is similar to part 1. Now in part 1 you have A, B, C, and D. You should remember from the other video, you won't have a problem with. But in part 2, no te dan ninguna ayuda. No hay ayuda. Okay, so part 2 is a short text with 8 gaps. Rellenar hueco, básicamente. ¿Eh? No options, no te dan opciones. You must write one word, not 2 words, not 3 words, one word. Okay, and you have to focus on grammar words, linking words, prepositions, auxiliary verbs. Lots of do's, in, on, at, prepositions, and some fixed phrases for C1. Some people try and use big vocabulary. I see a common mistake is, eso es demasiado fácil. Eso no puede ser eso. No, no, porque es un examen de C1. Eso no puede ser. No puede ser in, or on, or at. No, no. Don't recognize the grammar patterns and don't read the full sentence. Oh, I hate it. I hate the don't read a full sentence. Hay que siempre leer hasta el final de la frase. Siempre. Porque puede ser que Oliver is going to the bank, no sé qué, no sé cuánto, pero se ha lesionado, entonces no va a ir hoy. Ah, cambia toda la frase, no va a ir. Okay, so read the full sentence, please. Read the full sentence. Read the full sentence because that's when you get silly mistakes. Fallos tontos, eh? Identify the grammar structure. Think about what word is missing. The key is to look the word before and the word after the gap. Okay, check if the sentence sounds good and natural. They're basically my tips. So let's go through this. I'll read and all of it before we do the answer. Okay, I'm going to read the whole all of it before we answer the question. So, even though fewer people smoke today than in the past, one every four adults still smokes, and there are parts of the world where smoking is increasing. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Okay, one every four adults. I know it, okay? But I'll give you 10 seconds to think. One in every four adults still smokes. Ok, básicamente es un rellenar huecos. No hay mucha más explicación, no es tan compleja como la part 4. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I keep it short, quick, and I hope that these tips improve your use of English. See you soon. Bye, everyone.